How big is that pop thing? It's like covering your whole face like Phantom of the Opera.
I like it.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to All Bronze No Brains. This is episode 41, and we are your Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch podcast that's hosted by me, Tony.
And me, David.
Oh my god, ew, David!
And today we're going to be recapping everything that's happened in Sunnydale, as well as asking the very important questions.
Am I too sexy for my shirt?
Too sexy for my shirt?
So sexy
It
it hurts.
I was worried you were going to actually take your shirt off. Oh my god.
Sure.
Well, wait till I tell you.
Sure.
Well, we're on episode 7 of season 3.
Yes, we are.
Revelations. This is a big one. All this shit's gonna go down.
I have a lot to say.
I have a lot to say too, actually. I have more to say than what I thought I was gonna have to say. But there's a lot to say.
There's a lot to say about one very specific character who can go
Yeah.
fuck themselves.
Who could it be?
Yeah, I know. Giles. This episode is written by Doug Petrie, and this is actually Doug Petrie's first episode that he ever wrote for Buffy. He goes on to write some of the best Buffy episodes ever. But he worked his way up on Buffy from story editor to executive story editor, co-producer, supervising producer, and then in the last season he was co-executive producer.
Voted most likely to sleep his way to the top.
That's class.
So yeah, why don't we just fire straight on in if you got nothing else to say?
Well, we've all seen it coming.
Okay, so we open with this week's episode with some god-awful singing.
Hear that bell!
But it's like, it sounds like bad karaoke. Someone trying to do If I Can Turn Back Time in a rock voice. Anyway, at which point we cut to the table where we've got the Scooby Gang, and Oz is coming off the stage. He's finished. For some reason, even though the band's mid-set, he gets to take off his bass guitars. If there's a second bass guitarist just available, to be like, yeah, man, I'll do that for you for this scene. And he's squeezing Xander and Willow together, creating some awkwardness, which builds up, which is kind of believable, but it was so flippin' obvious. But anyway, but it was good fun. It was funny little pratfall that led to like a drink falling and a healthy round of applause from the crowd. Yeah. Like thumping the tables.
I actually think this is the first time since they've started their little fling that their awkward interactions were like enjoyable to watch.
So Willow deflects to talking about Buffy. Cordelia at this point is delivering the facts about why Buffy might be avoiding people in that very sardonic, straightforward way, which is also good, which I'm now realising is very good for the audience just to catch up very quickly because she just says it as is.
Excuse me? When your last study killed half the class and then your rebound guy sends you a dumpagram, it makes a girl shy.
Buffy arrives with a little joke about dating Faith, which I was like, oh my god, yes please.
Really, we're just good friends.
And we cut to the Slayers beating up some vamps whilst Giles is just very watching casually drinking tea. There is not one scene in this whole episode where he isn't drinking or making tea. Every single scene. Mrs. Gwendolyn Post comes in with describing how you give blowjobs.
Sloppy.
I haven't had any complaints yet.
Sloppy.
You telegraph punches, leave blind sides open, and for a school night slang, take entirely too much time. Which one of you is Faith?
We have a brand new English female Giles, and she explains that she's going to be Faith's new watcher, at which point we cut to the credits. Good strong opening. A lot in it.
It was a great opening, yeah. I love that little awkward scene at the start with Xander and Willow. I don't know if you noticed, like, Willow's voice is, like, pitched higher. It's, like, her kind of, like, awkward, nervous, like, lion voice that she does.
I think it's great when two people like two people and want to be close to them instead of anyone else.
Yeah.
Cordelia delivers a great line when she says, Xander, why you give me a lap dance?
That was
quite
funny.
And then I do think it was funny, again, that we've talked about this before, that Willow always defaults to this eagerness for Buffy to have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's episode 7. She's had 2 relationships in the last year. One of them she killed, sent to hell, and just came back. And the other guy just dumped her at homecoming. Let her have a fucking minute to finger her own bean.
Or maybe she wants a girlfriend. Definitely. I actually think in this whole episode, just to head off top, Eliza Dushku's so beautiful. Which has this like Annie from Annie. Like kind of look like this little child that's been like dragged up, and yeah, that wee face all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of, oh my god, this light is so bright.
Do you have a blind or anything?
No,
Or a hat?
I'll just keep looking dead and like smizing.
Pack your bags and go home.
Faith looks rough in a good
Yeah,
way.
I just thought she'd had a good job of being like that. Like you could tell the difference, like the upbringing between her and Buffy as well at times.
She's got resting twin brook face.
Yes. Oh.
Why is Buffy dressed like a burglar? Like she's wearing like a black hoodie and a hat, and it's like she's compared to Faith. Faith's wearing a denim jacket and jeans, and Buffy's full on dressed like an actual burglar.
That hat makes a comeback, to be fair. Is that the one that has the diamantes on it?
I'm into her trying and being a fashion girl because, like, I don't know her really as that.
I love their synchronized slaying, which was quite good. I like seeing the choreographed fights. But the only annoying thing is when the two of them are in one scene, it's double the amount of stunt doubles.
Wow, you're pretty smart.
Once I realised you could see the stunt doubles, I'm like, I don't really care. Then you just start enjoying like how fucking good they are at fighting.
There's some points where they just focus on them for too long, where it's
Yeah.
so obvious that it's like an 8-foot tall woman.
6 foot tall, dark hair.
Especially later on when we get the fight between the two of them. Like it's very obvious then.
But yeah, we have Gwendolyn Post come in. She's played by Serena Scott Thomas, who was in The World Is Not Enough, and she's actually the sister of Kristen Scott Thomas, who was in The English Patient.
As we asked the question, it's related to Chris Scott Thomas, who's also in the best TV show in the world, Slow Horses. Fucking so good. So we open with Faith arguing she doesn't need a new dam watcher, while Gwendy walks around the library passive-aggressively having the library measuring contest with Giles, and he keeps
Oh,
losing.
yeah.
Mr. Giles, where do you keep the rest of your books?
I'm sorry, the rest?
Yes, the actual library. Oh, I see.
I can assure you, Mrs. Post, this is the finest occult reference collection.
This side of the Atlantic, I'm sure.
Do you have this? No. Do you have this? No. Do you not? Oh, you have that old one. She's great. She's instantaneously and it's brilliant. I'm here for it all day long.
Oh my god, I love when Faith says to her, "Excuse me, Mary Poppins, you don't seem to be listening."
Well, from here on in, I don't think I ever describe her as Gwendolyn. I think I give her a new name every time I describe her because she's like a wee bitch. She explains she's been sent by the council, and what the fuck hat is Buffy wearing? I typed up the notes as I was watching it, no describing the scene as I went along, and only had to pause a couple of times, interjecting my odd, what the fuck is she wearing?
Gay.
That hat is awful. She looks like a shit Jamiroquai.
Yeah,
It's massive. Anyway,
Jamiroquai.
Wendy also warns that there's a new demon coming to town called Lagos, and he's coming for the glove of Dominican. I was hoping you would interject and tell me what the glove's actually called.
The glove of Minigan.
Minigan.
Lagos seeks the glove of Minigan.
The name of the glove will also develop as we go on. She wants the Slayers to hunt Lagos down. This is where we found out that there are 12 cemeteries in the city limits. Hashtag pub quiz question. Whenever Gwendolyn's leaving, I love how she kind of calls Faith like a wee dog. To my side.
Yeah.
I'm like, to my
Yeah.
side, you little bitch. Buffy, in a very nonchalant way, offers to murder her, which makes me laugh.
Interesting lady. Can we kill her?
Buffy's actually fucking class in this whole episode.
It's so funny the way that you say that. Buffy offers to murder her, which is like, really, she's like, "Can we kill her?"
Yeah. This is a cool little, I feel like, info dump scene.
It's good. It kind of sets up who Gwendolyn is. Like, I love that she talks about Giles becoming too American. There's been talk in the council of... I can't do her accent. It's too English. I've been talking the council of it being too English.
Wet.
Why is she English Stifler's mum? Do English Stifler's mum.
Oh, how do you do that?
Come to the council.
Oh, Giles. Oh, no, it just sounds like the same. Oh, Giles, you could become too American.
What are you, commercial? Click.
I love every time that she says something bitchy, Giles's face is just like, he's so flustered, and I just love that he's just face acting and like chewing the scenery with his annoyance in this episode. Like,
his face and body acting in this whole episode is brilliant because he does it in such like a like there's a few funny moments. Like there's a scene later on with Xander that makes me laugh just the way he like head
he's like,
nods.
Could you hold on a minute?
And then he goes and he doesn't move his arms. He walks like you, doesn't move his arms, just nudges like that.
Yeah.
It's just so brilliant and subtle
Yeah.
the way he does it. But he does it, and even later on, then when he turns it a little bit, when he's giving Buffy the grief, it's like that whole thing. His body stiffens, and like he's just such a good actor. Anthony Head is so good. But we're going to be giving him an Anthony Baghead if we keep talking about him. So
you.
Raise your hand if ill.
Any more for any more?
No, I'm just excited to get onto this Tai Chi fuck scene.
Buffy and Angel are tying their chi a big time. I like the time that this scene gets to breathe. I actually don't really like sex scenes and stuff, but I like this. This is very romantic and very, very reminiscent of quite a 90s film. And it's also quite interesting. Buffy's a little bit more uncertain with the Tai Chi. If you notice with her acting in that scene, Angel's constantly looking forward and certain, but she's like doing what she's doing, but like constantly checking checking his hands. It's so, again, very subtle acting. I thought it was class. And then as we reach up to the top bit, the hands come together to make a wee church, and then it's, oh my love. It was like Ghost.
I was thinking it was more like Dirty Dancing, you know, when he's like practicing the move.
Oh, I went to Ghost. I was waiting on a wee pottery coming in for them to start rubbing it because he's all topless.
Oh,
and
yeah.
all. And then there's like a proper near kiss, and then Buffy again cuts it, which is good, being very responsible there. But as she goes to leave, Angel sort of questions the relationship and what are we doing in that greater question, which I really liked. I like it when they just get to the fucking point too sometimes instead of building it up.
Old habit. Bad habit to be broken.
But this whole bit between them, the tension's crazy. Even though they're kissing is terrible, the tension between them is incredible. Oh yeah, and then the one wee line that I love that Buffy says is, do you think they make a patch for this? I thought that was just so cute. Buffy then later mentions Lagos, and Angel seems to recognize him and looks actually quite scared. And then when she goes to leave the room, I see she's got a 2-strap on her back, which is
homophobe. It's a homophobe right here.
I always wear 2-strap. Oh, well, I'm gay.
There we go.
You wear 2-strap too?
I know. Okay.
I love that scene because I like it more because they showed us Angel doing Tai Chi before. There's like a context.
Yeah. From 2 episodes ago, I think, as well, which is really nice that they held that.
Especially because Buffy was like, oh, I didn't know you knew how to do that. And Angel's like, I'll make you a chai tea, don't worry. I wrote the same thing about the patch. I thought that was a great line. I think there's something in this episode that the drama all seems grounded in like real life problems that I feel like I could empathize with, and it made me therefore, with all the characters, even with Xander and Willow to an extent, like they're starting to show more guilt, I think, and stuff. I think that's when it's starting to be more like relatable, like especially with Buffy and Angel. Like, no, it's not about like him coming back from hell. It's about, well, now that he is back,
what the fuck now?
The last thing I did was peg him with a big metal sword into a demon dimension. Buffy does say this line, oh, it's just another Tuesday in Sunnydale, and it's because the Tuesday was the night that Buffy aired on.
Okay, I like that. It's cool. That was a nice little catch. Also in this scene, whenever Angel's kind of the brooding look that he always gives Buffy, that like towering, almost looks like one of the what are they called? The things that sit in the side of a building.
Gargoyles.
Remember the gargoyles that have a really heavy brow? Those cartoons. And then it made me realize just how much Robert Pattinson is taken from Angel.
This is the skin of a killer doll.
Like, it is very, very, very similar to the way he broods and's quiet and still. Like, I think there's I don't know. You should sue.
But I think there were vampires before Angel that were like
okay,
that,
no,
like,
but it's that. But I don't think there was vampires that were like
that looked specifically kind of foreheady.
Yeah, it was always still quite like that. I will suck your blood. You know, it was like the fact that it was humanized or something. Maybe it was before, and I haven't. Because even Interview with the Vampire isn't quite as.
No, because Tom Cruise is looking.
So move on to the next scene where we open to a frustrated Giles. More pissy behavior between Giles and Xander, because obviously he's getting frustrated, he can't find the problem. Xander at one point says like, "You're not the fucking watcher of me."
Then go home, but if you choose to stay, then work.
Do you know, like in your man dad's house, whenever like, I don't know who the disciplinarian in your house was, but Myne was a disciplinarian in our house. But whenever someone went just that step too far, and Dave would go, "What did you say?" And then the fear, that was he said that, I was like, oh, he's gonna hit you. I was like, Because I thought it was so cheeky, and then this is my moment where I hate I hate Xander through this whole episode. There is not any point that any of his behaviours justifies anything that he says. We'll argue about it as we get onto it.
I don't think there's an argument. I kind of agree. And I love that Giles just says to him, then go home.
Yeah, I like that too. And I kind of like that Giles doesn't really like Xander.
I was going to say, because did you not notice again that it was only Xander he was scolding? Like,
yeah,
no one else. He never scolds anyone else.
But I don't think he actually, at least Willow genuinely helps, and the Slayers slay. What the fuck does Xander do? And Cordelia does a favour and fucks off. Where is she? Why has she not been in any of these episodes? For about 3 episodes now, we've seen her she comes in, info dumps on us to what we might have missed, or if you've maybe missed something in the break, and then she fucks off again, looking stunned. Xander and Willow go up to study more, and we get this more weird tension between them. So we get more of this tension between Willow and Xander whenever she gets a wee bit of oh, my head's so sore, and he's like, I'll rub it for you, and she's fully orgasming at the touch of his fingers.
Ew, no, David.
Which is fair enough, because I do feel like she's a wee bit starved, even though she's got a full-on boyfriend who's a dog. And then he says something weird. She says, like, no, don't. He's like, no means no. As if he's practicing, like, no, I'm not supposed to touch girls when they say no. It's like, well done. You're not supposed to touch girls when they say no.
For a moment, I thought he was going to say no means yes. It would be very in his character to do that. So, well played, Xander. Well done for not raping your friend.
Well done.
But that was Joss Whedon writing that, being like, I was so good because I didn't kiss this girl that I could have easily kissed.
But I get the feeling the whole time that there's no repercussion to Xander's absolutely dreadful behaviour, that I'm like...
Because there was none to Joss's.
Genius.
Icon.
Icon?
And I love to do iconic shit.
Willow and Xander kiss. Now I will say this. The two can kiss. They nearly get caught by Giles, who's completely oblivious to any tension or people in the room, which was so funnily done. He says that he's found where the glove might be. At this point, they're being so awkward. That little like, and for some reason, Xander decides that he will go to a crypt alone at night to find the demon. And Willow just continues to study in her books, and Giles completely oblivious to any teenager tension, or what I think now as an adult, and whenever I'm around people who are clearly flirting, that he has complete awareness and doesn't care because they're teenagers, and he's like, it doesn't matter.
How'd you find it?
I looked.
Where's Buffy at?
I took that more that her question was stupid. Next thing you open up to Buffy and Faith talking through their old exes.
Ronnie, deadbeat. Steve, klepto. Kenny, drummer. Eventually just had to face up to my destiny as a loser magnet. Now it's strictly get some, get gone.
Faith probes Buffy to get more info on Angel. It goes on and on like that really annoying mate who doesn't get the hint, and then Buffy eventually tells her to back off.
Look, Faith, all of the Angel issues are still kind of with me, so if you don't mind, I'd rather not.
Yeah, whatever.
At which point, Faith looks a little bit like, what's that word whenever you get a bit like...
Despondent.
Yeah, Faith, I'm going to add that in. Faith looks a bit despondent.
And then I'll do a flashback to when I just said despondent.
Yeah. I kind of now I'm realising now that like the whole episode I've had like a wee hour or two since I've watched it and made the notes is like, this is her way of reaching out and trying to be friends. Faith then decides to go to the crypt to look for the glove of Domingo.
Minnigan. Lagos seeks the glove of Minnigan.
To look for Coleman Domingo.
No, sorry, excuse me, I said it wrong. Faith decides that she's going to go to one more hunt to see if she can find Lagos. Oh, and lo and behold, she does find him. And immediately they pick up Faith and fuck her away like a packet of crisps. And then just continues digging into the crypt, which I thought was like quite a bit humorous or something. Even though he is massive and strong, it's like, oh, cool, like this is quite a strong body. But Faith is really struggling to beat him up, and he's not even... like any punches from Faith he's not really paying attention to eventually he's too fucked, and then he doesn't find what he's looking for and he pisses off without paying any more attention to Faith. Cool scene.
Yeah, I like that scene. So Faith tells us her ex-boyfriends, Ronnie, deadbeat, Steve, klepto, and Kenny, drummer.
Oh yeah.
But it was funny that there was one called Kenny.
What?
So I just...
Oh my god, who killed Kenny?
I love in this scene how Faith is like what you said, like she vocalizes her mistrust of men, which is like that's a big thing for her. But she uses that as an opportunity to try to talk to Buffy about Angel, and that was the thing. I didn't find her annoying at all. I found her to be like really genuine, so that whenever Buffy kind of was like, "Listen, can we not talk about this?" You could almost see that she was a little bit hurt, that she was trying to like
Yeah.
get closer. So I really thought it was very like nuanced acting from Eliza in this, because she's normally so tough, like she doesn't care. But even then, when she was saying like, "No, it's cool, like it's fine. I'll go do this last one by myself," you can tell that she's like playing it in a way where she's really dying to like have community. She really wants to go to church, but she's got no one to go to church with.
Totally. I get that. So I was laughing because whenever you said just Eliza, didn't say her surname, immediately went, Eliza from Hamilton.
Never seen it.
I was doing that thing where you edit clips in, and I was editing in. I've just said Eliza, just her singing Eliza.
Well, maybe I'll put that one in for you.
Maybe we'll.
Yeah.
He would, in fact, not put it in.
One thing I really like too is that whenever Faith sees Lagos, she says, "Oh, if it isn't my lucky day," which I just think kind of shows her approach to slaying is really like she loves packing a wallop.
Next, we move on to Xander talking to himself as to why the fuck is he going to a crypt to search for a big bad when he's a big wuss. And this is where Xander catches Angel stealing your sex toy. Oh, I see you find it.
I just got a shooting pain in my leg. Oh.
Sure.
My love egg.
Someone hit the remote control. Anyway, we see Angel carrying quite a large item under his arm.
It's a 2-liter bottle of Coke.
No. And Xander is pure raging. I've got a whole lot to say, but I want to just get to the end of the episode before I absolutely keep being really pissy. He follows Angel back to the set of Romeo and Juliet and watches as Angel and Buffy terrible kiss.
That's one of the first times I feel like it really feels like a set. Everything's a bit bright, considering Angel's not meant to be around in like daylight, even though it is nighttime. But unless he's installed a wee security B&Q light out there or something. Of course, Xander happens to see Buffy at the one moment that in the last few months she kisses Angel.
I know, but I just hate his wee jealous face. Like, it's such a proper, like, it's not there. There is no fear of the world. There is no fear of the thing. This is like when racists just don't like people who are a different skin, but use loads of excuses to dislike someone of a different skin. They want any reason to hate Angel.
Some of the reasons he does have are completely legitimate.
100%. If it wasn't for the fact that she was the Slayer, there would be a bit of me that would be like, a little pinch of benefit of the doubt. She did literally murder him. No one he had a soul the last. I just feel like we'll get to that scene when we get to that scene, because I know we'll go on. We'll not go on about it. But again, I just feel like Buffy and Angel can't kiss. It's terrible. It always seems.
It's awful. Like they've had their tongues removed.
Yeah.
It's like two turtles trying to kiss each other.
And then again, Buffy splitting it up. Before she leaves, he tells her he has something big in the next room she's waiting on. He said something like, I have something big to show you, or something.
He says, fits like a glove, yeah.
So get in the next room and he unfolds the thing, and it's the glove of Dominoes.
Minnigan. Lagos seeks the glove of Minnigan.
This is the one moment where I got really, like, I hate that, like, one of those, like, I'm going to use the word tropes that does my fucking head in, where it's like, oh my god, we found this really dangerous glove we've been looking for days. Everyone's staying up all night. I'll phone Giles in the morning about it. Not right now. It's probably about 8 o'clock at night. No, I'll wait 12 hours before talking to Giles. I'm like, I know why to do it, so it gives them an opportunity to run and say, I seen this, and it gives them all this chance to the next morning. I understand why they're setting it up, but I wish there was a better reason.
I think the reason is that it would be safer with Angel than what it would be with Giles if Lagos were able to find it.
I know getting into the thing that I hate when people get into this, but that's just one of those I'm like, I wish there was just a better way. I just was like, I just don't. They never wait until the morning, and this one time they did. I know I'm going into it. Any thoughts?
I like the part whenever they stop kissing him and Buffy says,
"What are you doing?"
I don't know.
Shame on you.
I'd like that she's like she is taking it seriously, but she's also quite comic in how she's like dealing with it. It's not too melodramatic, which is great.
Yes, she is the least melodramatic person in the whole cast at the minute.
Yeah, I like that we get this big clunky metaphor of like the glove, and he's like, "Oh, you don't touch it because it can never be taken off." And Buffy's like, "No touching, just like us." I'm like, "You were practically riding him a minute ago.
Oh no, shut up! No touching. You're literally fingering him now.
You literally giving him a prostate exam with that glove, the glove of Anne Widdecombe."
So we open with Giles reading a book, and he says how he's found a chapter in this book by this guy on how to destroy the glove. And of course, Nanny McPhee's like, "Oh, I knew all of that." It's like, why didn't you fucking say anything before now? He doesn't need to read the book if you already know it all.
That's not the part about the where he finds to destroy the glove. That's where he finds a picture of the glove.
Was that all it was?
Yeah, and
But
she's like, "But that picture was based on an illegitimate drawing."
Oh, right, okay. All right, then I misinterpreted that.
Sure, Jan.
That's what she says. Like, you really should read the words, not just look at the pretty pictures.
Moneypenny yaps about how shit Buffy is, and Giles explains that she's under his control, and then, which is actually quite a funny bit, Xander comes running straight in to explain how out of control Buffy is. And at this point is one of my favourite little pieces of like physical acting. Giles, like, the whole this right to the end of the scene, how completely British he becomes is insane to me. And he's like very stiffly with his, he's like nods over like over here, and it's like so brilliantly done. And he's it's so good. And then even when she pipes in to say like anything I can help with, he's like, "Thank you, no." And it's like it's just fucking brilliant. Like this whole scene. What have you got for me, babes?
No, it was really good. I love this too. They have such great hatred chemistry. Like because there is almost a, like a potential like, oh, there's potential maybe like sexy time chemistry there.
I thought there was chemistry, yeah, like
yeah,
in that British way.
But I think that translates really well from like hatred, because I guess there's in similar veins, you know, love and hatred.
She was a really good guest star in this. Like she could have held her own as a semi-reg or like a Miss Calendar vibes.
That's the only annoying thing, is that you can kind of tell in these episodes when there's like a guest star like that, you know that they're usually the antagonist,
because they're antagonistic. We could Google this. We have multiple devices with all the information in the world at our tips, but nah, we'll just say what we think.
I love Giles's exact quote was like, "I assure you that Buffy is both dedicated and industrious, and I'm in complete control of my Slayer."
Xander.
That line was so good. He's like, "We have a big problem. It's Buffy." And his face, he was like, "Will you excuse us?"
I also appreciate that they didn't give us a big spill of everything. They let them whisper about it in the corner without having to give us again, reminding us of exactly why.
The camera's, you know, closer to old Bendy Gwendy, and she's like, just sitting there like staring at her, like, "Would you like some assistance?"
This would be on the intervention scene. Everyone's fucking raging. Everyone's raging. Now, I didn't go through in detail exactly the back and forth line for line. If you want to, you should go watch the episode. It's much better when the actors do it. But basically, they're going back and forth with how like much of a selfish cunt she is for having emotions. Xander in this bit is being such a fucking cunt for the one reason only. It is not about the safety of others. It is because Buffy's riding Angel. He's using that, and you can see it because of his wee dickish eyes. I get that Cordelia is scared that she's going to get killed by the vampire. She says at one point, "I'm fucking scared I'm going to get killed." But Xander's like, "Yes, see, she's scared." And again, I'm going to go a little bit politics, but it just sounds like when a racist, whenever like there's a school shooting or there's a shooting and they find out it's someone of color or someone of Muslim faith or something, and it's like the delight that it was someone who wasn't a white Christian. And it's like the delight that he's found her, that seems joy in his hate. And throughout the rest of the episode, there's like, he's giddy to kill Angel. And it's that intent. No one else is excited about killing Angel. Everyone's disappointed and frightened. But he's just being, and that's why I think he's a fucking cunt. And I get that her behavior is, it is just like he can kill the world and all. He's a big dangerous vampire. But there's loads of dangerous vampires. Loads of them. Why is he the only one that seems to be super dangerous than everyone else? He is a really bad one, but like they killed him the first time. Anyway, I know I'm going way off on this. But I'm also going, where's the faith and trust in Buffy? The person who has time and time again proved her worth on being the Slayer, even though she's not technically the Slayer anymore because she's died and there's already multiple Slayers who came in her fucking past. Yet she still seems to be the strongest one, which we will see later on when she's able to kill the big bad that Faith could barely scratch. And yet, here we are, she's getting ridiculed by all the fucking people. It's like, could you fucking give her 10 minutes? And again, she takes it all with grace and poise until she gets pissed off whenever he says something like, give him a handy. That line.
Give him a happy.
A happy, sorry. Sorry. So anyway, that was my little rant. Buffy gets pissed off and upset, explaining she's confused. And then whenever Xander says, you're just going to give him a happy, that is just the most, I just was like, you're such a cunt. Which is probably very good. Maybe but I get the feeling I'm not supposed to think he's that big of a cunt.
I don't know. I think...
And come to your bit. I'll finish this whole bit off and then you can give me because I've written a lot here. Oz seemed to be the coolest because she's like really angry when he says about the Mr. Happy thing, and Oz went, well, you were kissing him. And then this is when she realizes that he's been spying on her, and he does that thing whenever you get caught doing something wrong that he doubles down and becomes an even bigger cunt. This is the moment where I was like, I cannot wait for it all to come out about him and Willow. I'm like, I just don't like him as a character. I can't wait. I fucking hope he in this show. Whenever he used like Miss Calendar as well, he's just using any excuse to just hurt Buffy. It's not about the fear, it's about hurting her, and that's what happens when you're a jealous person, that when you fancy someone that doesn't fancy you, you just want to hurt them because you're hurt because they've rejected you. Anyway, just fucking, maybe this means really good depth, maybe it means whatever, but I just get the feeling that Xander doesn't get his comeuppance on his behaviour in this episode. Buffy explains that Angel has the glove. Xander says, and this is the bit, this is one of the other ones, oh, leave us to clean up your mess as usual. What are you talking about? You don't do anything. You literally do one thing in this episode. You get pushed by fucking Faith and you get knocked out. I was like, what are you talking? You don't do anything, you fucking useless piece of shit. It's really fucked me off when he said that. I was like, what are you talking? She's the fucking thing. She killed him the first. No grace, no class, no trust. Anyway, she calls him out on his jealousy, which pisses off Cordelia. I'm sure you're going to tell me that line in a wee second, so I'll leave it up to you. Giles is able to cut all the tension and ends it responsibly by calming the situation down and sends them back to class with a plan on how they're going to defeat Lagos. Giles then, walking into his office, taking kind of Buffy aside, is much more tactful and showing off his emotions and feelings, not in front of people, not to punish her, but to express his emotions and feelings. And this scene between the two of them is fucking brilliant. He stiffens up. He tells her to be quiet in this authoritative way that I know you got to send me over. So it's like, and the fact that what he used wasn't about Miss Calendar, wasn't about the fear of other people, just about himself. The fact that this person tortured him with joy. And you could see that pain and hurt and fear in his eyes. And I just thought that whole soliloquy and speech and leaving Buffy trembling with that wee hurt lip thing was just, it was a fucking brilliant scene. But I cannot stress you, and please, if you're listening or watching this, comment and tell me that you agree with me, because I am going mental with how pissed off I was at this fucking prick.
Everyone agrees with you. The whole fandom will.
Thank you for letting me rant.
So obviously there's a lot of things that are said or that I love, so I'll be pointing just some of the actual script stuff, but it also leads into a really big kind of thing for me specifically. I like when Buffy is asking about their faces, the way she says it. She says, what's with all the tragedy masks? I like that Willow is doing the whole therapy thing that I thought that you would like, when she's talking about the I statements and we're not here to blame you.
I did write that in, but I ranted over it. I liked it. I like Willow in this.
I like when she's like, I feel hurt, I feel worried, and then Cordelia's like, I feel worried about me. She's like, last time Angel barely laid a hand on Buffy, he was much more interested in killing her friends. And I love that when she's saying this, she's not saying it to be a bitch. You can see she's genuinely she's scared or raging, and that's at least the one thing that I do like about Cordelia, is that she, not in the way that Xander is sleek it and underhand with Buffy about his reasons for things. At least Cordelia is always honest about things.
But I feel like even Buffy appreciates that. She gets less grief from Buffy because she's still always just being Cordelia. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
she's great. But sorry.
But
Go ahead.
the Giles kind of cuts through all of that stuff by saying, "Well, you must have known it was wrong, or you wouldn't have hidden it." And when Buffy gets raging about Xander saying about spying on her, and she's like, "What gives you the right?" And then Cordelia says, "What gives you the right to suck face with your demon lover again?" And she's just so like, scared or raging. And Buffy does say she wouldn't put them in danger, and that's when Xander brings up Miss Calendar. This is the one thing that Xander did say that I technically agree with. Buffy says, "You'd love an excuse to hurt him, wouldn't you?" And Xander's like, "I don't need an excuse. I think lots of dead people actually constitutes a reason." It's like, okay, fair point.
Again, not behaviors based on it's his behavior towards Buffy is my problem, not his opinions on Angel. His using it as an excuse just to be a fucking misogynistic prick. That's all it just to control Buffy. I get it's all very controlling. Like anyway, later on he says something that's very like controlling or something. Like you can't have sex. It's like just as long as you don't have sex with them or something. I'm like, what the fuck he's doing, telling her not to have... I know why, but it still feels so... Maybe that's it. I'm looking at it with these big goggles on, but fucking hell.
Whenever she says like he's cured now, that he's better, and Xander's like, yeah, until the next time you give him a happy, which I was going to say when you brought that up, like what a really horrible thing to say to her, because not only was it like that was so traumatizing for her, she never knew that was going to happen, and it ruined her life. So for him to then bring that up like so nonchalantly, like, oh, you just want to ride him. Then when Buffy calls Xander jealous and Cordelia's like, hello, miss, not over yourself yet? And Buffy is so Belfast when she turns around and she's like, don't you start with me.
I love that too.
Oh, it was so good. And I just love how Giles, obviously his voice is the voice of authority and cuts through all of that and sends them all off on their way. Now, this episode, I think, is really kind of serves to highlight like the complex morality surrounding Angel's return, because I feel like they're all sitting talking about Angel, but no one's really asking the question as to whether they think that Angel, the vampire with a soul, is responsible for the actions of Angelus. Because it seems to me like Giles does, because he says to Buffy, "You're harboring a known murderer." So he obviously views that Angel is still, and maybe that's out of his fresh emotion because he hasn't been around this Angel like too much yet. But I just think it's a really big kind of question about morality that Buffy kind of brings in that is kind of important as to whether, especially because there's so many demons and stuff in the show, whether it's the soul that makes someone good or if it's like something else. But I also find it so fascinating that no one is asking like, why is Angel back? Like, how did he come back? They're just literally like, so I just think there's some parts that they maybe skip over, but I do think it's really interesting to see for each of them whether they view Angel as being the one who's responsible for, because we know that Angel, when he's Angelus, he views Angel as a separate person because he talks about, you know, your boyfriend's gone, you know, all of that. So and I think it's because they don't understand that, or they haven't made that separation yet.
That's a good point. We move on to the next scene. We have Faith, who is visited by Lady Macbeth, explaining that she is a difficult watcher, but will make her very strong. Like, she's going to be a difficult watcher for her, going to make her life difficult, she's going to hate her. She actually says, "You will hate me, but I will make you very strong." She starts pure mixing about Buffy and the Scooby Gang, how they're leaving Faith out, and they've got a secret like meeting with they've got a secret meeting about her and all, or they've got a secret meeting. Don't know what it's about. This is the moment where I'm like, she's the bad guy. That was my moment right there when she was mixing. I was like, you're the bad guy. Just a cute little scene to give a bit of context to their relationship, I think, and also to see her mixing.
I think that's the thing. Is like now we're starting to see that like Faith is starting to feel isolated, and I think that's why it was great that she went off by herself earlier, because that starts to show that. And now she's in their room by herself while they're at the meeting, and it's not maybe intentional, but big Wendy's doing the right amount of mixing to be like, oh, there's a secret meeting, and it's just. This is the start of something big, you know, that this episode actually lights a lot of the fuses of the big plot bombs that are going to be big for the rest of season 3.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Which is really, really good. And this Faith thing is one of them. But I just really hate mixing bastards that try to like make divides between people like even bigger. I hate her.
What meetings?
Oh, I don't know. Something with Buffy and her friends.
Oh, right. I guess that doesn't include me.
And why does he let her socialize so much? It hardly seems... No matter.
hate her. That's why she's very good villain in
Like
this. to be fair.
Gwendolyn! Fuck way off!
Buffy and Willow catch up at the lockers and they're chatting shit about secrets. Buffy's sort of apologising to cool. I just love that Willow, like a proper good best mate, is like, yeah, of course you are. I said my piece, you said your piece, let's move on. And I love that feels actually quite true to real life at times when you can just have a big fight with your mate and then you get over it the next day.
It takes you a few days usually.
This little scene isn't really much in it. I think it's just really a plot explainer to move us on to the kind of third act. It doesn't really feel like there's a lot of not much to say in this other than Buffy explaining what the plan is to get Lagos and to get the glove and all that rubbish. We cut to Xander being the absolute worst fucking piece of acting. I'm gonna say, what do you call him?
Nicholas Brendan.
This is just really bad, kitschy. Like, oh, I'm so angry, bad guy. I'm waiting on him, like, pulling a packet of fake fags out of his arm and, like, lighting a cigarette and never smoking it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on around here. I'm Batman. Yeah, it's really bad. What's going on? I'm like, what are you doing? You're just in you're playing pool in the youth club. You're not fucking the head of a mafia family. Why are you going like, you come into my family, you talk shit about Buffy and she fucks it. I'm just like, love Faith in this because she's just itching for a scrap because, again, she feels rejected, so she wants to use violence. Remember, like, early on when she keeps beating up vampires more than they need to be beaten up. Obviously, there's a lot going on in this character. Love how they show all that stuff. But, I get the feeling, I don't know whether, this is the whole thing, when he's doing that scene, when he's playing pool and he's like spilling the beans to Faith about how Angel's back and we don't know if he's evil, even though she's kind of told him he's not evil. I've sort of told you he's not.
He's purposely misleading her.
Yeah, he's doing exactly what Miss Post did. And it again, whenever she offers to kill Angel, there's like a real lust in his eyes, not fear for his own life that he's going to fight a big bad scary monster. He's like, it's a wee lusty fucking... Oh, I hate him so much. I'm so angry at him in this episode.
I say slay.
Can I come?
And maybe he's doing his job really well and he's acting really well, but
it is very based in lust because even when he says that line, like, "Can I watch?"
Yeah, that is not there. That's what annoys me. It's the intent is not to save people's lives; it's to hurt Buffy, and that's where I'm like, you're a fucking shit, mate.
Yeah.
And I just wrote here, I fucking hate Xander so much.
Well, this is what I thought, like the little Buffy and Willow scene versus this is kind of was maybe meant to mirror a kind of healthy relationship and a not healthy relationship because Willow and Buffy healthily move past their stuff. Xander and Faith are stuck in their hatred and their jealousy and their bitterness, which is for Faith, it's not necessarily all her fault. She'd be manipulated that way.
100%.
But Xander is continuing to, like, this is the thing I think is hard for Faith when she finds out Buffy, like, Angel was alive and Buffy knew about it. Then that's when she realizes, like, Buffy's been lying to me the whole time pretty much I've known her.
And we get that later on. We get that scene between Buffy and Faith later on, and that's deserved. I just never feel like Xander's is deserved. And I guess that's the point. He is provocative and he's trying to wind Faith out, and that's how we roll into Faith versus Buffy. Essentially, we're going to get at some point in this season, we're going to have Slayer versus Slayer.
And the whole reason why Buffy probably felt like she couldn't tell him in the first place was because of the lie that Xander told at the end of season 2 when he said everyone says kick his ass, not like try to make Angel better. You know, so it's like
that's right. You pointed that out at the time. I remember you saying.
He's still like he's perpetuated all of this.
Yeah.
Because of his own hatred of Angel. He always subverts what the group decides to do when it comes to Angel, and it's like it's out of his own like selfishness. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's why I get really pissy at him. So we cut to the next scene. Fanny Craddock shows up at Giles' office to have a wee flirt and a wee probe, trying to get some more details, which Giles is very happy to just give her all the information while he's making the tea while he's spilling the tea, one might say.
Oh my god.
Giles starts talking about how to destroy the glove with the eternal flame. An eternal
flame. It's actually the living flame.
Eternal flame?
Living flame.
Oh, sorry, I know, but I'm just making a joke.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I'm just making a joke about the song.
This is burning a living flame.
At this point, she smacks him over the head, And at which point we see this is her super special move, as she's really good at hitting people over the head and knocking them out.
I must say, Mr. Giles, good show. Good show indeed.
Total KO.
I think she does it 4 more times. Like in wrestling where they have a really shit end move, like a slap, but it knocks them out. This is what hers kind of feels like. Although the big dig she gives Giles and the reaction you get later on from Xander makes me think, whoa, do they actually get hurt in this TV show? They always get knocked out for hours at a time and just wake up with a wee patch in their head. But
well, this is actually the 12th time that Giles has been knocked unconscious.
He has got one of those traumatic brain injuries. I also thought the music was really good when it had a very good crescendo with the strings were great. It was great. Felt quite like a bit old school, but it was good.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that we seen too. I just love that this was the twist where you find out the big
twist.
It's like, good show, Mr. Giles. And then beats the fuck out of him, caves his head in.
We open up to this scene and Will's questioning why she's there instead of Faith.
Shouldn't Faith be here?
Buffy is chatting about feeling better about letting the secret out, and we get more of Willow being fucking hilarious in this scene. Like her little like constantly, no, it's okay to have secrets, and I love that she starts asking about, is it a bit sexy?
Sexy, yeah. I like that because I thought it was very like
real.
Yeah,
that's real. That's why those cheating things are always fun, because it's a sexy secret, and that's why like no one will ever know because we're the only people who've ever been in love. Kind of shite.
It's too much pressure.
And it isn't knowledge that Willow has a thirst for. Because she says it's just questions that this girl who has a thirst for knowledge loves to ask, and I'm like, it does not knowledge that she has a thirst for. No way.
It's a thirst for that dick.
That dick.
That dick.
You gonna take that dick? You gonna take that dick? I'm gonna pop off a piece of my dick. I'm gonna put my dick in. I'm gonna put my dick in.
What's up, man? You alright?
So at which point Willow hypes herself up, starts her little speech to say like, sometimes these things happen, and whenever things happen, and then you wouldn't believe that there's a monster behind you.
I want you to be the first to know that there's a demon behind you.
Which I thought was a lovely little build up.
Buffy turns around, there's a box of Legos.
Buffy then does a big run and jump kick and then falls immediately on her arse, which I thought was great.
I love that.
Which shows how strong he is. But eventually, as we get through this fight, she takes a few hits, but she kind of beats him kind of easily enough.
Because she's strategic.
But also, I love how we get an actual comparison between Faith and Buffy.
Yeah, Buffy's well trained.
Well trained and seems stronger. Like, I'm not using her, and I'm gonna go into like some deep divey stuff here.
She doesn't just use brute force.
Yes, she's not using her anger. She's using she's not trying to hurt someone. She's trying to strategy. And then she cuts off the head of Lagos. At which point she just walks back to Willow as if like, anyway, where were we? Which I thought was just shows again like how much better a Slayer she is. It's just what she's good at. And Willow then admits that she cheated at checking her SAT questions before she was allowed to or whatever.
Your secret's safe with me.
Yeah, this is a cool little like. I like Willow and Buffy scenes. Always like Willow and Buffy scenes. It feels like real.
I just like when they they make the kind of twist of the episode to be like this demon that they've been trying to get the whole episode is like so incidental in the end. You know, so I quite like that. Because I love that he's just like stomping around town, like fucking looking for this mad glove, like an absolute fruit. And then Buffy just chops his head off. Like, YOLO.
So the two most dramatic people in Sunnydale burst into the library for some weapons. And again, then Xander's like giddiness and like he's like his like lust for, again, I'm using the word lust, bloodlust.
Yeah, because what does he say? Something like, oh, can I get a crossbow or something? Can I get a crossbow?
But like that, like in a really sexy way. But Faith is more doing it as like, I want to hurt something, especially if it's something that's Buffy's that I could hurt, so I can make her feel rejected like I feel rejected by all of you people because you don't love me.
Why don't you love me?
Tell me, baby, why don't you love me?
They find Giles knocked out, even though he groans, but then he's perfectly silent again. At this point, Xander starts to come around to think it might not be Angel that did this attack because there's no bite marks, which I thought was, okay, we're using some common sense here, very good.
A bit later the game.
Wait! For what? You to grow a pair?
But Faith runs off anyway to kill Angel. This is the first time I've seen someone kind of scared and phoning an ambulance and stuff when someone's been knocked out. Usually, like, come on, we'll help them up. It just felt a wee bit like, why are we scared now? Didn't seem that big a deal. We've seen anyway. Yeah, I thought this was a nice little setup for the big bad ending, for the big fight between Angel and Faith and Buffy. So we move on to the next scene, and where we see Angel is summoning the eternal flame that can destroy the glove. I also really love the fact that Angel's just been kind of getting on with the job, that they've, like, all the plans that they have put out, and they're running around, and Angel's just quietly in the background going and getting the glove, setting up the little spell to create the eternal flame, and he's just going to chuck the glove in. We go back to Buffy finding Giles fucked, and he explains that she is to use the living flame. Xander, even though he said that Angel probably didn't do it, still thinks that Angel did it. He's purposely hurting Buffy, and that's why I fucking hate him.
What happened?
Your boyfriend's not as cured as you thought.
What makes you think that Angel had anything to do with this?
I love that when he admits Faith is going to kill Angel, Willow is fucking raging at him. It's like, come with me. She is the best actor out of them all.
Yeah, but she's just like, shut up and help me. Like,
but so like a girlfriend, like a really pissed off girlfriend.
So raging at him. Because I think in that moment, then she also realizes that they all realize that Xander has purposely misled Faith to do this. And that is like
evil. That's evil.
And it's funny because this episode, that's what it's all about. It's all about like lies and betrayal and trust, even when you have like how you perpetuate that when that's happened, when you're being such a martyr about it happening to you.
We cut the Hyacinth bouquet arriving at Angel's to help destroy the glove. Angel is unsure but allows her to check his work. But I like that he isn't just, here you go. He's the whole time he's suspicious. I am surprised that she turns around and again whacks Angel around the head and knocks him out. I was a little surprised that he was so easily knocked over, but he bounces up with his big demonic face on.
Okay, that hurt.
But I like how he bounces up, like he literally bounces and lands. Like, okay then. Or I like seeing him be humorous, because like Angelus is funny, because he's just a dirty old funny bastard. I would love to see a bit more of that from Angel. She tries to stake him once she realizes that he's a vampire. It's a good wee fight until Faith shows up to see that Mrs. Post is just about to get bitten, which she isn't, but she assumes that she's about to get bitten by the evil vampire.
I can't believe how much I'm gonna kill you.
So Faith and Angel start scrapping. She chucks him onto the sofa, very soft couch that he seems to be hurt by, and then she's about to stab him, in which we get a really cool little, not today, cunt.
I love that wee part because I love big Gwendolyn. I kind of like the way she moved when she fought, especially for wearing like a long skirt. She was like, her moves, I just really like the swiftness of her moves. But I think it was like, this is more your poison. She's just like really...
She was great. I thought she was great. Just really good in this whole thing.
I love that when Angel fought her back, he just pushed her really hard into the wall.
Yeah.
I just found it so funny.
But also holding back. Like again,
yeah, because he could have just fucking killed her.
Could have broken her neck. We cut down to Willow and Xander, who have made the stuff to destroy the glove, but they found out what the glove actually does. At which point we cut back to Faith and Buffy arguing about killing Angel, and then they just begin to fight. And it's a really good long fight. There isn't much to talk about other than it's a really good stunt doubly fight. Lots of punching, lots of great like shading of light and stuff to not see their faces and things. And like jumping through the window, the pane glass, all that stuff was great. And my favorite part was just when they do get through the glass, when they go through the glass doors and then they separate, she just picks up a chair and fucks at her and Buffy just steps aside. Faith is running out of ideas, so she's just throwing anything at her and Buffy's just like, that's whatever, it's just a chair. I just love that.
That's very Faith. Faith does that all the time.
Oh really? Does she like temper tantrum?
Yeah, she's a real like scrap fighter, you know, so she'll kind of use everything around her.
But it was just but it was like, that was never going to work. It was just such a stupid thing to throw. But I liked it. I thought anyway, like on purpose, it was a stupid thing to throw. Like,
I think it's just meant to look less sophisticated than Buffy's fighting style.
Yes, that's what I got. That's what I got the impression of. But also like Buffy's stronger and better and faster and is a better fighter. And you can see that very clearly from this. And also feel like Buffy's holding back a bit in this fight too.
Yeah, because she's obviously not trying to hurt Faith because now she can see that Faith is being manipulated by Gwendolyn Post because Gwendolyn says to her like, Faith, she's blinded by love. And then you can
Yes.
see Faith trying to make the decision what she should do. I love that when they start fighting, particularly the window part, 'cause I love that Buffy just body slams Faith right out that window into the garden. They have a bit of a trend of like flying through windows that will continue.
I liked it. I thought it was fun. It was good. It was like, it was nice because I didn't have to take notes. I just got to sit back and watch the fight happen because there's
Yeah.
not really much to say other than it was a really good fight. I love to see Xander get thrown, but really wish he'd have broke his neck and died.
Oh yeah.
We get to Mrs. Post again hitting a third person around the head with the glove. She hits Willow, who takes it on the chin quite well, to be fair. And then she puts a glove on, which turns her into Thor. And then in the subtitles, it says she speaks in Gaelic.
Yeah, she does.
On the subs, but I can't quite understand what it is that she's saying. But I love how insane she looks calling Faith an idiot.
You're an idiot.
You idiot. And like she's got the glove on. It's just so good.
Faith, word of advice. You're an idiot.
It was so good.
Her head's like rolling off her shoulders.
It was OTT, but I loved it. And I love the fact she could fire lightning, which is class. And she's saying something like jarred cream. I don't know, something like that. Buffy and Faith work together to stop her. Buffy cuts her arm off by throwing a wee bit of glass, which I thought was fucking class. I thought it was a fun way to end.
Oh, it's a big bit of glass.
And Mrs. Post is toast. As the dust settles, the glove lets go of her arm. A lot in that little pack scene.
I love the effect of that glove going into her arm. It's like with the spikes. It was very visceral.
Jinx!
Yeah.
Jinx again!
Did not like that one bit. The first thing she says in Irish is "Be mine, the power of Minagon."
Interesting.
But the thing that she keeps saying, "Ta cream!"
As if like you've left the cream out of the fridge and your man's like, the cream! The
cream! It technically is slightly wrong.
Of course, I wouldn't expect it to be right.
The way it's been scribbled down by whoever's translated. I'll maybe get Aoife to send us a voice note of how to say it.
Is she an Irish speaker?
Yes.
Class.
Yes, native. But what it means is come through me.
Ah.
Hi guys, it's your favorite Irish speaker, Aoife. I think that crazy woman should be saying tar trium, which means like go through me, trium. So tar trium.
What it means is come through me.
That's what you said to the boys at the weekend. That is.
No. I'm like, come in, mate. Like, your cream!
No, but I thought you were like. Sorry. Oh, God.
Why are you always such a nasty fat bummer?
I like that Angel is able to get Willow on side because he saves her by body slamming her. Poor Willow's being fucking ragdolled. Are you still laughing at your cream?
Yeah, it's because you're just like, it just took me off guard. I'm sorry, I'm done now. What were you saying? Body slammer through the window?
Yeah, well, the Angel body slams Willow to save her, and I'm like, she's getting fucking ragdolled about this mansion like some shacking. I love that big mad shard of glass that Buffy just uses to fling your woman's arm off. And then, this is what I was wondering, does Buffy kill Gwendolyn Post, or does the arm being chopped off and the lightning technically kill
The
Gwendolyn
lightning kills
Post?
her because she cuts her arm off. That's it. I don't think she's killing her. And I think she's not. She's possessed. I wouldn't call her a human being at this point.
Okay.
So we cut to the little coda, our little explanation, our little end part that everything's going to be okay. Oz and Cordelia are being caught up, and at this point they sort of justify that Angel's safe.
Well, he saved me from a horrible flamey death that sort of makes me like him again.
Well, as long as she and Angel don't get pelvic, we'll be okay, I guess.
Oh yeah, because this is where Buffy arrives, and then Oz is like, we're talking about your boyfriend. It's like, he's not my boyfriend. And she asks Xander if they're cool. She checks with Xander if they're cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're being gaslight this whole fucking episode.
And he's like, yeah, I overreacted.
Yeah, I went a bit postal. I was like, you went on a murderous rage, and then you involved 2 other people in that murderous rage and manipulated the whole gang of your friends, and you're like, sorry. It's like, no. You can't fuck. I do not forgive him for this. He can go fuck himself. I was not satisfied with this ending because then Buffy's like, oh, thank God. I'm like,
Gwendolyn Post, not a watcher.
Yes, she was. She was kicked out by the council a couple of years ago for misuses of dark power.
Anyway, Giles explains that Mrs. Post was kicked out, and he also looks awful. Like
Yeah.
in this scene, they did a good job making him look like shit. Buffy leaves, and the gang just explain that they will see how the angel thing unfolds.
So I do love the line where like Xander says he trusts Buffy, and then Cordelia's like, I don't.
yeah.
And then when Giles shows up, he explains that Gwendolyn Post really was a Watcher, but she'd been kicked out of the Watchers Council years ago for misuse of magic. And he's like, they swear there was a memo.
I like that. That was funny.
But this kind of led me to think about, obviously, the Watchers Council kind of represent the patriarchy, you know, because they're in charge of the women's
Women.
power and all of this. But I think this episode is starting to make clear, and I've never really thought about it before, that I always viewed like the Watcher of the Slayer as being like a duty that was like a real accolade. But maybe actually it's looked down upon because they have to look after this girl, like this
Oh,
girl.
yeah, okay, yeah.
And maybe that's why they don't get invited to things, or they don't go, you know, because Giles is
Interesting.
always talking about that. So I just thought it was interesting to think about it from that point of view. We're like, oh, this isn't actually the accolade that maybe Giles thinks it is. It's
Yeah.
just looked down upon by all these fucking English.
I like this scene. The final scene is actually my favourite. There's a lot of depth in it and a lot of nuanced acting, which I loved. So Buffy visits Faith in her little shitty apartment, which is reminiscent of Buffy's apartment in LA, in my opinion. I thought it was quite a wee sweet scene. Buffy's trying to get Faith to trust her, but Faith is cold as ice. And I kind of love the ballsiness of Faith. Like, she's just like that angry child that is like staring down authority without fear. But there's also a really interesting the way they've what's the word I'm looking for? Like they've way they're positioned in the scene, their placements is very interesting. The way she's lying down and dressed like a tramp, and Buffy's a little bit more middle class looking, a little bit more well put together, a bit tidier, a bit like Faith has a big bit of her lip sticking out, and like she's got bumps and bruises, and she looks a bit disheveled. Where Buffy, even though she's gone through the exact same thing as Faith, looks like, what? This is like another day to me, which is also I thought that was cool.
I like that you picked up on that because I think it is obviously very intentional.
It definitely is, because she's got her coat on. She's very together. She almost looks like a Watcher in herself, Buffy, because of her calmness. But when we get to the end of the scene, and Buffy's like, okay, fine, I'm going to leave. And then Faith calls her, and it's just a wee moment that you see, like, the crack in the exterior. Like, you can see her wanting to reach out. And then she doesn't. And then Buffy leaves. But there's, like, a real loneliness between the two of them.
Yeah.
Like, these are the only two people in the world right now that we know that exist, that are living the same thing, and it's like, why can't they just get along? Kind of vibes. And I like that you get that sense of loneliness from both of them as they leave the room. Like Buffy looking off into the middle distance of like sadness, and Faith is like kicking herself for maybe not saying something, or it was just just a lot to it. And I thought it was a nice, because usually we would have ended in the previous scene. Hopefully Angel will be okay. So it was nice to get this little extra bit of just the Slayers essentially relationship.
Yeah. Well, this is the kind of the plot dynamite I was talking about earlier. This is kind of the start of the blowing up of the rest of the season, which is great. Like I've never watched this really and thought about Faith's side as much as what I have now, obviously, because we were doing like analysis on it. But have now looking at this episode and seeing how everyone that Faith would maybe have considered a friend has completely like lied to her.
Yeah, well, you can't trust people. I should have learned that by now.
And even she feels like isolated from the Scoobies as well. And when Buffy says to her, like, I know that this is going to sound weird coming from someone that like had just spent the last day like kicking your face or whatever, but I'm on your side. And
You can trust me.
I like that Faith says, like, no, I'm on my side, and that's enough.
Not always. Is that it?
That's the ballsiness that I loved.
Faith's totally justified, and I've never really thought about it in that way before. And like, I like the way that you're saying that the way it lingers on. You see Buffy waits outside for a moment. Faith is kind of like inside, like that, and when she almost has that moment of she's going to be like vulnerable. This is then the moment that is the beginning of the rest of Faith's arc, because now it's like, as they literally go in two different paths, this is now the tragic parallel to like Buffy's life and Faith's life, exploring how someone like Faith, who has trauma and a lack of support, can lead a person to turn to darkness, and how someone like Buffy, who's got, and that's why I think even the way they were dressed, it goes to show like these are the differences. Like
someone is cared for,
between them
someone
two.
isn't.
Yep.
That's just simply it. Someone has a parent,
Yeah.
friends that love them, and someone is just alone and surviving. And it's like,
And
it
it's
was
the
great.
first time I've really thought about it as being like Faith is a product of these things that have happened to her, and not just like she turns bad because she's
Yeah.
raging.
Yeah,
So I thought
because she's
it was
jealous or because of whatever. She's actually just a wee. All I ever see, probably therapy, is just like the wee lonely child that just wants a hug. That's everybody
Yeah.
is just a lonely child that wants a fucking hug. Like everybody just wants a hug.
Well,
and like,
you'll see that comes very much into play with Faith.
I really like this episode. Xander's, but I like that I had an emotional response and not just a nothing response to him.
Yeah. I love that the drama was really grounded in like the real world or something,
Yeah.
even though it's obviously not. But it was like all the problems felt like semi-relatable.
All the problems were communication. Every issue that happened was just simply no one communicated. If Buffy had said, by the way, I found this glove where at Angels, I'll talk to you about it now, it would have been at any point if anyone had just admitted the truth.
Buffy, oh, God, Angels, fuck, I'll fucking tell you about it now. I'm on my fucking way home, right?
But yeah, that's it. That's our episode.
That's it for that episode. That's really it.
I thought it was class. I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm assuming we're about to get into the middle of the season, which means we're going to get
Well,
some...
this episode 7, is always traditionally the one in every season that is like, it's the finish of like, they clear all the debris away in the first 6 episodes from the previous season, and episode 7 like sets the bomb off.
The bomb, as it says on her hat. The bomb.
The next episode will be the last time you will have to see The Secret. And we've got a returning character next week.
Oh, is it me?
No, it's Spike.
Spoiler! Oh, very good. I'm looking forward to that. Class. Well then, bitches, we'll see you next week for the next episode. Thank you very much for listening and streaming. Make sure, as we say, to give us a little like, give us a comment. And actually, if you fancy it, if you're one of the podcasters in Spotify, if you're listening to the if you're listening to the audio stream, drop us a wee review. Just put 5 stars in. Don't have to say anything. Apparently, if you put 5 stars in, it does really well for us. If you put any other stars, it doesn't. Put other stars if you want. Who really fucking cares? But if you fancy being dead on and just hitting the 5-star button, that's all you have to do, and then we'd really appreciate it. I know, just outright asking you to give us likes, but would you give us some likes, please? Thank you. Any words from you, Tony, before we go?
Oh yes, if anyone wants any like dirty socks or pants or anything like that, I'm going to be selling them at tonysdirtypants.com. Not really, people will take that seriously, but if anyone does want it, feel free to reach out. We'll come to an agreement.
Yeah, if you join our Patreon, I'll give you 20% off.
I will.
It's dirty underwear.
Yeah, I'll cut 20% off the leg.
But do you not have to scrape them off the ground with a scraper though? If it's
no, it's usually just off your dad's back.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Anyway, yes, join us next week for episode 8. Where that's a third of the way through the season. Oh my god.
Thank you so much for watching the stream and user fucking class. We'll see you next time.
Au revoir. Au revoir.
Bye, bitches.
Au revoir. Au revoir.
Bye.
Au revoir.
I'm playing music.
See ya.
Very good.
Oh my god, that wasn't recorded.